Welcome to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. What's Working is brought to you by Regions. Happy to have you along for the ride on yet another episode. Each of the guests that we interview, I'm excited to learn a little bit about their business, to hear the behind-the-scenes stuff that makes their businesses so unique. The one that we're going to interview today, I know more about than most of the guests that we've had on because I'm a customer of this business and have been a customer for, I think, maybe 5 times over the past 5 or 6 years. We're going to talk about an indulgence of mine today that I just can't get enough of. If I had more money, and it would have to be gobs of money, I would do it at least 2 or 3 times a year, and that is going to Argentina to go wing shooting. Several years ago, after a frustrating hunt in the Córdoba province, I began doing some research to find another place to go. And I came across this place called the Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. The reason we went was the pigeon hunting there was better than any, according to the reviews, better than any place anyone had ever been. There's 2 species of pigeons in Argentina that we shoot. They decoy, and the decoys are set up in the field prior to the hunt, and you step into that blind, and you hunt this. It's essentially, if you're a hunter, it's a duck hunter on dry land with one notable exception is you don't call them, but they do decoy just like a duck would. And it's an awesome hunt. When we first went into the Tuku Lodge, managed by Cristian Druetta, who we'll have on the phone in a minute, we were taken aback by the niceness of the lodge, and then secondly, and most importantly, the reason we were there, the quality of the shooting. We spent 2 days hunting doves, 2 days hunting pigeons, and came away from that saying, we'll never go anyplace else again. Cristian manages the Tuku Lodge in the Salta province, and he has the only license to be an outfitter in Salta, which, for comparison's sake, Salta, the state, the province of Salta, is larger even than the state of Alabama, meaning he has access to fields and lands, etc., jungles, to use that's the correct term, for the El Dorado fishing, the Dorado fishing, all over. And every time we go, we have an impeccable experience. I want to know from Cristian what it's like to deal with me, people like me. Now, I've hunted with enough people in my trips to Argentina over the years to know that there are people that will fly a long, long way to sit in a lodge in a remote part of the nation to drink. That's not me. That's not my people. That's not what we go to do. There are also those that will fly a long, long way to shoot until they can shoot no more. They spend gobs of money settling up on the shells that they've shot. That's not me. That's not my game. That's not what I'm after. I'm there to find something different, to see something sensational, and in the same time, get some wonderful shooting in. It's rare that it's never in Alabama, look up to see a flock of parrots flying over. Look up to see a flock, what must have been hundreds of green parakeets flying over. A toucan, 5 or 6 different types of raptors flying over. It's amazing. And if you're a birder, there is no place better than this. The last element that I want to put on this before you get bent out of shape about hunting, if that's your attitude, these birds that we hunt in Argentina consume 25% of the farmer's crops. Let me say that again, 25%, meaning that these birds have an extraordinary amount of food to eat. They do. These are all agricultural fields that we hunt over. And they have so very few natural predators. Other than the hawks and the things of that nature, they're jaguars and things like that. But what does a jaguar eat? What does a hawk eat? 1, 2 birds a day, every other day? The countless millions of these birds is something to behold. And these farmers lose 25% of their crops to these birds every year. So by going there and shooting, we are doing our best to do these farmers a favor and help them keep their crops. But in truth, we don't even really touch the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the volume of the birds. To prepare for this interview with Cristian, I've done nothing. I haven't gotten data. I haven't gone in and looked at the amount of money hunters spend on wing shooting trips. I don't even know if it's out there. I don't care. What I did print, though, were pictures of my trip last summer. I've got a picture of just an extraordinary number of birds flying over the field right now. I've got a second picture of me and my 2 boys. This was the first time I was able to bring the 2 of them with the chef there that they call Mosquito, and a most extraordinarily charismatic human being that cooks good food for us in the fields and it has entertained me for every year that I've been down there. Love Mosquito. And then the third picture I've printed of the hundreds that I've taken is my two boys at the ready. They're both just teenagers in this picture, looking out over the blind in a pigeon hunt, and I can tell from their expressions they see the pigeons coming, they're at the ready position, and they're about to go. It's a memory, folks, that a father can't get enough of. It's an expensive trip. It's a remarkable place to be. It's like nothing I've ever seen before, and I can't wait to see again, and I can't get enough of it. And when we get back on the phone, I'll have Cristian Druetta, who manages these memories, these experiences, these expectations at the world-famous Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. What's Working is brought to you by Regions. We'll be right back.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please pull forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are, so they can help life go right.
Call me, State Farm agent Allison Horner, in Mobile at 666-1616.
Even if we don't meet in person, Regions is still here for you. We make it easier for you to stay informed and in control with online and mobile banking. You can check balances, transfer money, pay bills, deposit checks with Regions Mobile Deposit, and even set up helpful alerts no matter where you are. We're here to make it easier to bank your way. Learn more at regions.com/tools. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
The best, most cost-efficient ways to talk to customers about who you are and what you do is through signs, simple, effective signs. Hi, I'm Cam Marston, host of What's Working. Signorama is the Mobile area's leader in helping you design and build signs advertising your business. What kinds? All kinds of signs, all kinds. Find Signorama on Facebook or at signorama-mobile.com. We're back. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. What's Working is brought to you by Regions. And on the line, I have with me Cristian Druetta. He is from, well, we'll get an exact location in a moment, but I know he's in the Salta province in Argentina. It's amazing technology these days. I dial a U.S. number and he answers in Argentina, and we can't wait to have this conversation. Cristian, thank you. Welcome back to What's Working.
Hello, Cam. How are you? And hello to the audience. Here, we are in Argentina, in Salta, and this is northern part of Argentina, close to the Bolivia border. I mean, no close, but about 150 miles, 180 miles, just to give you an idea for where we are.
Yeah, the northernmost stretches of Argentina. Honestly, Cristian, I hadn't heard of Salta, and this is shame on me. I hadn't heard of Salta till I found Tuku Lodge and had to figure out how to get there. And Salta's not a small town. Salta's got 1 million people in it, doesn't it?
Well, Salta town is big. It has 1 million people in the city, and it's just a nice size city, and with a lot of tourists coming from all over the world. It has a lot of good things to do besides shooting doves or fishing and for hunting. And they had the famous Train of the Cloud, had the wine country, and a lot of people come to see these things in the northern part of Argentina.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I've had some friends come and visit your lodge and then tour onward from there. I've only ever come to visit to shoot the birds, but they've visited you and toured on from there, and they had a number of wonderful things to say, and it's something I've said over and over again. I need to get down there and look around. All I ever do is go to the lodge, which is glorious, and hunt, which is even more glorious, but need to come down there and look around for a while. So I'm very seldom, Cristian, do I get people on the phone who I'm already aware of their business. So I'm somewhat aware of yours, having visited with you 4 or 5 times now. I forget the number. But for the guests, tell them who you are, what you do, tell them about Yingus Outdoors, and then tell them about Tuku Lodge, and we'll then get your story.
Well, we are I am in the business for a long time, and I started doing this kind of hunting and fishing in the south of Argentina. And then, over the years, we start hearing about the problems of from the farmers, the problem from the doves. They were eating all the crops and the sunflower fields and sorghums. And I was thinking, I'm talking about 19 years ago. And so I say, well, I should go to this province and see what happened with the population of birds. So I came down to this province, to Salta, and started talking to the farmers. They say, yes, we have this kind of situation here. I mean, we lose like 20-30% of the crops every year because the birds. So I started scouting the area, and it was crazy. I mean, at the beginning, it was just unbelievable. Compare the population of the doves and pigeons to the south of Argentina. It was just insane. I mean, I can show you videos, I can show you pictures, but you're not gonna believe it until you get here. So after the year, we start testing this area with a few groups, and I say, well, this is gonna be really good to start building a lodge and start setting in this area, because it's no other place in the world. It's in here. So that's what we did. We start building lodge, and start doing all the things to provide the client all the best.
Yes, I've been to Cordoba a number of times, as you know, but I haven't seen anything like I've seen since coming to Salta to hunt in your lodge. And while this is the show is not intended to be a full-throated endorsement of a business, there is, folks, I can tell you, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And Cristian, tell me what happened for here in the U.S. Let me say, for me here in the U.S., it was the first couple of weeks of March that I began to see the impact of the COVID virus on my work and on my travel, et cetera. I know Argentina went through it. I feel like I watched them go through it a little bit later, and they made some dramatic changes in Argentina. Tell me what it was like from your end in mid-March or April when the virus began kind of spreading in your part of the world.
Well, we start working, here we can shoot doves all year round, and pigeon is mostly from May to September. But at the beginning of the year, we start hearing about the coronavirus, and really we never expect that country was closed down. I mean, it was in March 20. I mean, the president of Argentina say, well, we have to close all the borders because, everybody, most of the country did at one time. And so after that, after March 20, I mean, all the business, it was closed. So I have to start calling, every client who was booked and tell about it. And so we have to, at the beginning, we didn't know for how long the country is going to be closed. So we say, well, for maybe end of May or June, we will be back to work. So I say, well, we have to reschedule some trips. Some people can do it. Some people we just reschedule for next year. But after that, it was kind of not working at all. All the outfitter in Argentina have to close. I mean, so right now we are looking for start working back again in September 1st when all the airline flights start to operate again, and see what's happened. But we are plenty of full of doves, a lot of pigeons, a lot of dorados. It's gonna be hopefully we can work this season, but it's gonna be hard for you for USA citizens to fly into Argentina if it's not open.
Yeah. So you're looking at a September 1st opening date again. That's the plan. And I hope that comes through for you, as well as all the people in the U.S. that are eager to get there and begin their hunt again. However, as we're fond of saying up here in North America, we're not really sure what's going to happen. We sure hope that to be the case, but we're not really sure what's going to happen. I'm curious, Cristian. I know you hire scouters, you hire cooks, you hire bird boys, you hire gun cleaners. There's a small economy that you take care of there as a result of opening a lodge and making it available to the hunters like you do. What has become of them since this happened? Are you finding things for them to do? Are they still around the lodge? Have they returned back to their homes across the country? Where are they?
Well, during the quarantine, they have to stay home. They can't go anywhere. But now in Salta, actually, we have some kind of luck here because we don't have any coronavirus cases. I mean, we have just 10. Okay, so we still right now we can move around. We can go outside. We can do some local tourism for local people, for Salteños, for example. They can go and actually we have a group of local people last week in Tuku, and people, bird boys, chef. We don't fire anyone. We just keep them working with us because we will need them later on. So what we say okay. You can take a rest. You can, but sometimes the cleaning, maintenance people, they're still going to the lodge for 3 days a week. And bear boys, sometimes they will call them and say, well, let's go and clean some, part of the barn, or do some work, or paint some things, do some kind of a little maintenance to keep them, to give some money for them.
Yeah.
And so we need to get, until we get back to work again.
Yeah. And September is that date. And from what you've said and from what I can gather, the birds that people come down there to hunt, the fish they come down there to fish for, haven't been touched in a while. They've had no pressure on them since March, which means they're probably getting arrogant, flying slow, flying low, and reproducing in extraordinary numbers. Do you have a sense of what the hunters are going to experience when they finally get back down there?
Oh, it's crazy. I just came yesterday from the lodge. I am in Salta City right now, and I've been scouting all the area and talking with some farmers, and the numbers, as I told you, I can show you pictures, I can tell you about, I can show you videos and tell you a lot of things about it. Try to understand the volume of the doves and the number of the birds, but you're not gonna believe it until you get here. It's just, farmers. I was talking with one farmer yesterday, and he say, I lost 35% of the sunflower fields. I mean, it couldn't harvest it anymore. I mean, it had to stop because I was losing money. And the time they have to pay the combine and to pick nothing from the crops, it just, I stop it. So they reproduce like crazy. They have dogs, for example, here, they have a perfect climate, the perfect, habitat for them. They have the roost, have the good temperature, they have water, and have food. So they reproduce 4 times a year, sorry. And they say two hatches per nest. So you do the simple math. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Tell me, Christian, before we go to break, you showed me one of the roosts one time. We drove up into it. It's amazing. It's white with bird droppings. How many birds are in that roost? I think it's the St. Mary's roost or something like that.
That was when we have several roosts nearby, and one the main roost that we have in the area has 10 million doves in just one roost. I mean, if you can walk inside in the roost, it's no grass. I mean, you can see, or you can maybe to the poop of the doves, maybe up to your knees.
Unbelievable.
It's just crazy.
10 million birds
crazy.
In one roost, and there are multiple roosts. Folks, we got Cristian Druetta on the line. He owns Yingus Outdoors. He manages the Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. He's talking to us in Salta, Argentina. We'll come back with Cristian in just one moment. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. What's Working is brought to you by Regions. This is Cam Marston, host of What's Working. Jim Mitchell and his team at Signorama have provided all types of signage for nearly every event I've been a part of for years. I know his team's creativity, their multitude of products, and how easy they are to work with. His no-mistake Signorama is South Alabama's marketplace leader. Find Signorama on Facebook, call 634-0100, or visit next to Mullinex Ford on Airport Boulevard.
I'm Matt Armbruster with Ransom Ministries. We help people in our community that most others have given up on. Please donate your unwanted electronics to Ransom Recycling. We teach life skills, job readiness, and job creation through our electronic recycling program. We take anything with a cord. Find us at ransomministries.com, or you can call us at 251-751-0044.
Spend countless hours on insurance billing mistakes, Obamacare rules, and compliance. Employee benefits serve the purpose of recruiting, retaining, and rewarding employees. We can handle all of your benefit needs with cost-effective products, employee enrollments, and handle your HR. Benefit admin doesn't have to be complicated. My name is Michael Cowart Jr. of the Cowart Group, and we specialize in helping businesses with their employee benefit packages. Visit CowartAssociates.com.
Cristian Druetta owns Yingus Outdoors. He manages the Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. He takes hunters from across the world on some of the best wing shooting expeditions they'll ever go on. He takes them on Dorado fishing tours in the jungles and the rivers there in the Salta province. It's absolutely, if you're an outdoorsman, it's heaven on earth. If you're a bird lover, it's heaven on earth. Cristian, one of the things that I enjoy so much about coming to visit your place is not just the shooting, and I certainly do enjoy that, but it's the extraordinary diversity of wildlife that one can see out there. If you're a birder, if you enjoy observing the birds, and from a guy in North America, this is just amazing, but you can be underneath a flock of parrots as it flies over, parakeets, at least it seems like a half dozen or more different types of raptors flying over. Then, of course, there's the emu that's feeding out on the field in front of you. Talk to me about the diversity of wildlife in the Salta province and what your hunters, my experience is hunters often are also the greatest conservationists. What do they see when they get there? What is their aha moment when they see what you've brought them to?
Well, it's, during when we go sometimes to the different type of fields, for example, when you come and shoot with us, we go for 3 full days, 4 full days of shooting. So on those days, you go to, for example, different fields every day, and on the trip to those fields, you can see a lot of animals that we have in the area. I mean, it's We have for example, just go for example, there's 7 type of cats, like a bush cat, like a puma, like a jaguar. You see tracks, you see the brocadiers, and also when you go to the Dorado River, you see the tapir. There's a animal. There's the animal of the province. It's called anta, and you see the pheasant, native pheasant from this area. They call charata, and we have the also the turkeys, native turkey from Salta. They are blacks and good to eat. And also we have some porgies. There's a quail, type of quail, partridge, and emus all over the area, all over the fields. A lot of type of doves, and a lot of animals around here.
Yeah, we've seen toucans. I've never yet seen a puma down there or a jaguar. I've seen their tracks. They're nighttime animals, and I'm not really interested in going out at night and trying to find one in case it might want to find me. But I've seen the tracks down there. It's really such a diverse array of wildlife. Now, your hunters come with the goal of quality wing shooting, and you have a very demanding clientele. It's very unlikely, here's my guess, Cristian, you can straighten me out here if I'm wrong, that your hunters come and this is their first time to Argentina. Most of them have experience in doing this before, and they know what they want. You are the equivalent, I would say, of a concierge in a 5-star hotel, meeting exact demands of food, of wine selection, cigar selection for those that smoke cigars, and of course the hunting. Tell me what it's like. Is it the pressure of being the concierge of a 5-star experience with hunters that have traveled sometimes halfway across the world to be in your lodge and to shoot those birds?
Yeah, we have, in 2019, we did some revamp it, and we had to add 3 more rooms to our lodge, and try to thinking about the quality of a product to provide to the clients. So we had 3 more rooms, the 2 new massage boxes, open bars outside. We changed all the mattresses, the sheets, and everything to provide the best things for them. And we have new menu on the lodge. We did a lot of things. We bought vehicles, 4-wheel drive, the new kind of fields that we have, because we don't shoot in any feedlot here. It's all natural, all over the crops. It's natural things. So the lodge has been revamped, and we did that for the clients. The service, the managing, the chef, the furnishing, everything to provide them the best.
Tell me about your client, Cristian. Who are they? In my experience, they're typically male. There's an awful lot of Texans for which you deserve awards of patience for the Texans that come through. Tell me who your client is. What are they looking for from you?
We have clients from, I would say mostly from Texas. They like to, shoot a lot. They like to, drink some good beers, have a good asados, and shoot as much as they can. But also we have some others like from Europe, and some from the Dominican Republic, some from Mexico. The clients, what they're looking for is 5-star service. and good lodge, good food, good service. But here is in this particular lodge, which is Tuku, and you find a different kind of things in the same place. For example, you can shoot doves in big numbers. I mean, you can shoot 1,000 doves in a day, or 2,000 doves in a day, or 3. I mean, it depends how much your shoulder can take it. And also the next day, you can go, for example, for pigeon shooting, which is another type of shooting. It's like a duck shooting, but on the ground, with decoys, pigeon, carousels, and it's very enjoyable. And see like this pigeon coming into the decoys, and you can get at least 200 per day, or 250, something like that. It's just crazy. And also the next day you can go fishing, for example, and go to the pristine place, untouchable. This is in the middle of the jungle, which is go in the pickup truck or 4-wheel drives and be fishing on the crystal clear water for this big Dorado fish.
I remember, Cristian, hearing that some of the numbers, and folks, you got to consider this. There's a roost there that holds all these doves at night. Cristian told us a little bit about it in the previous segment, but holds 10 million doves, 10 million. And there are people that hear me say to my friends here in town that you could shoot 1,000 pigeon or 1,000 birds in a day, 1,000 doves in a day. And they say, gosh, that's so many. But when you're talking about 10 million doves in one roost, then 1,000 is the tip of the iceberg. And Cristian, a lot of people ask me about my trips and say it just doesn't sound even hard. You can hold your gun up in the air and shoot, and 8 or 10 birds are going to fall. That's not the case, is it?
No. I mean, shoot 1,000 birds in one day. It's not. I mean, you can do it with not much work. I mean, it's just you have so many opportunities to shoot that you can shoot for a while, drink a beer, smoke a cigar. I mean, do a lot of things. I mean, in a day without much effort. I mean, you can do it, but it's not like being beat up. It's just thing like you will do it. It is the goal of Tuku. Shoot 1,000 birds is the goal.
Yeah. And you don't even make the wall. You don't even make the wall of fame at 1,000 birds. You got to get to 3,000 in a day to make the wall of fame at the Tuku Lodge. And there are quite a few people that have done it. I watched a guy do it a handful of years ago. That is a big commitment to get up early and do that. And he was tired, very, very tired at the end of that day, but it was an impressive sight. But I guess the point I'm trying to make, and that many people think about these bird hunts, Cristian, is that there's so many doves in the air that you don't have to aim. That's not the case.
No, it's not the case. I mean, you have to have some skills to shoot these birds. I mean, you have to use the right things. You just come and we will provide you everything. I mean, we will give you the shotguns. We'll give you the instruction if you need it, but you have to get practice. Probably for a beginner, it's gonna be kind of difficult at the beginning because you have to learn, the distance, the positions, everything takes some learn to do it.
Yeah, it does.
As any sport, it's anything. But it's like when you play tennis, you always watch the ball, never watch the racket. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's, same with the dove. You always watch the bird, never look the shotgun.
When we come back from break, we'll have Cristian Druetta. We'll talk about the plans for opening up. He wants to get it open in September. If you've got money burning a hole in your pocket and want an experience like you've never had before, we'll talk to Cristian about how to find Tuku Lodge and Yingus Outdoors. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. It's brought to you by Regions. We'll be right back.
Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change the subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. I'm State Farm agent Allison Horner, and that's why I focus on how the benefits of life insurance actually live on by asking people to think in terms of life without having to sell the house insurance, or life without having to give up college insurance. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call me, State Farm agent Allison Horner, and get to a better state with State Farm.
That's the sound of rush hour. Hello, recess. Mom! Work from home is a lot of work. Even though we're a little further apart right now, we're still in this together. Regions is donating this ad to local food banks to shine a light on them as they feed our neighbors in need. Learn how you can help or get help at regions.com/foodbank. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Do you have a plan to protect your income if you can't work? We'd all like to believe that we'll never be disabled, but the reality is it could happen to you. And if it does, will your income be protected, your family be cared for? Richard Otts has served the Gulf Coast since 1997. If you'd like more information about disability insurance, contact Richard 251-342-8917. That's 251-342-8917.
Cristian Druetta runs Yingus Outdoors. He manages Tuku Lodge in the Salta province, the northernmost province in Argentina. It is a powerhouse of wing shooting that has yet to be discovered by the masses of wing shooters. And happy to say that Cristian is both a friend and a regular cohort, I guess. I've visited him a number of times, and it's a non-traditional business for sure. And Cristian, many of your guests, the ones that I've sat around the campfire with at those lunches in the field, whatever, are really, really experts on a lot of things that have to do with shotguns, that have to do with outdoors. They're great conservationists. They're, they're connoisseurs, I guess, of good bird shooting. So when you describe what you have to them, when you get them on the phone and they're not sure what to do, and you describe what you have to them, what are they listening for? Is it volumes? Is it of birds? Is it how easy they are to shoot? Is it the niceness of the lodge? What do you do to sell Tuku Lodge and your outfitting to the most discerning customers?
I think it's a combination, a little bit of everything. The first thing they were looking for is the researches, the numbers of birds, but then it's also the lodging, where you're going to stay, the service. A typical day, for example, is you wake up at 6:30 in the morning, have a good breakfast with eggs, bacon, coffee, fruits, and then 7:30 you start going to the field, and you will shoot for 3.5 hours, let's say. And by noon we set up a nice camp outside in the middle of the field with and start cooking the famous asado, the barbecue, with some red wine, and also the bird boys they clean some doves, and the chef they will put some bacon and cook it that way, and it's a good experience to have that in the field. And then you can take a little nap after lunch for an hour and get back to the field for shooting for 3 more hours.
Yeah.
Then go back to the lodge, maybe have some massage there. We have professional massages that you can have in them. and then a good dinner with a good meal by the chef at night. But this is kind of all the combination that were the experience that the clients they like to have.
Yes. So since I've been with you, Cristian, you've added rooms to the lodge. You've extended it. You've added 4 or 5 rooms down there at the end. You've got a secondary lodge that you use when there's overflow. What is the future for Tuku? What is the future for Yingus? Let's assume that September, the doors open, your clients begin arriving again. Where would you like to see your work in 5 years?
Well, I think in September this year we have to reschedule a lot of groups. So yes, the other lodge for sure we are going to use it because there's a lot of groups there, that were putting over to the other ones, and so we have to, and we can mix some group. We cannot mix. We have group of 10 people, group of 8 people, and at a time. So easily in our place, we can take, 30 hunters and not, no using the same fields. I mean, we can go different fields and we have a lot of fields to use. But I think in the next years, this is going to be really good business because in the south of Argentina, the numbers of birds, they were not the same like it was 25 years ago or 20 years ago. Now, I think all the birds, and this is very important because the transformation of the agricultural land, it went up to the north of Argentina. And I think, and the climate is being changed. It's a little bit warmer, So all the birds that were in the south of Argentina, they were moved up to this northern part of Argentina where we are.
So the hunters who are looking for those high-volume hunts are going to have a harder and harder time finding them in the Cordoba region and the southern regions, and are instead going to start finding you and heading north to Salta, where you are the only outfitter by law allowed in that province. Is that correct? That's
correct. And we are the only authoritative outfitter in Salta.
Yeah.
So I think it's just take one time to clients realize the number of birds compare with the south, like Cordoba or others there. Because I can tell you by the clients. The clients who were the first client who put one step in Salta, they want to. We have 80% repeat customers. So, as you, for example, or many of clients, they just say, how I can see this before, or they tell you some expression like that. So, if they come and pick Salta, they never go to, for example, Cordoba or some other operation in the south.
Folks, the website is Tuku Lodge, TUKULODGE.com. If you want to see what it's all about, go find TukuLodge.com. Cristian Druetta is your point of contact. You can reach him through the website. And while the Works Working show is not designed to be a full-throated endorsement of any one organization, I can tell you right now, this one is. This show is. And I'm glad to hear Cristian is still out there. I'm glad to hear, Cristian, that you've kept your staff on. I know that it has to have been difficult. And I look forward to you guys getting open in September. I'm eager for my return, Cristian. And prior to this call, I printed out 3 pictures that I took with my 2 boys last year when I was there with you. And just smiles on my face as I look at these things. You've got something really special. And it's not, just like I said, it's not just the hunting. It's the entire experience. It's being with my boys. It's seeing something so remarkably different than what I'm used to here in South Alabama. I absolutely love it. I wish you the best of luck, Cristian. Let's stay in touch. And when you get open again in September, I'll make sure my listeners know.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Tom, for your time and for this program.
Yeah, thank you. I wish you the best. I hope that somebody will click on your site as a result of this, folks. It's unbelievable what you'll see down there. If you're a birder, if you're a wing shooter, and if you're looking just for something remarkably different to do, give it a try. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. I'll be back after this break with final comments. Thanks, Cristian.
Thanks, Mark.
Do you sometimes wonder about different money topics, but struggle to find the answers? The Every Dollar Counts podcast with Gulf Coast experts Josh Knoll and Jay Stubbs is made for those folks serious about their financial plan and looking for answers. Josh and Jay dedicate their time to explaining the various services and products available, as well as discussing lifestyle and money interests of the modern-day family. Tune in to Every Dollar Counts on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else you get your favorite podcasts.
I'm Matt Armbruster with Ransom Ministries. We help people in our community that most others have given up on. Please donate your unwanted electronics to Ransom Recycling. We teach life skills, job readiness, and job creation through our electronic recycling program. We take anything with a cord. Find us at ransomministries.com, or you can call us at 251-751-0044.
The best, most cost-efficient ways to talk to customers about who you are and what you do is through signs, simple, effective signs. Hi, I'm Cam Marston, host of What's Working. Signorama is the Mobile area's leader in helping you design and build signs advertising your business. What kinds? All kinds of signs, all kinds. Find Signorama on Facebook or at signorama-mobile.com.
Do you have a plan to protect your income if you can't work? We'd all like to believe that we'll never be disabled, but the reality is it could happen to you. And if it does, will your income be protected, your family be cared for? Richard Otts has served the Gulf Coast since 1997. If you'd like more information about disability insurance, contact Richard 251-342-8917. That's 251-342-8917.
Cristian Druetta is a great guy, and he makes his guests all feel like personal friends, and I can attest to that myself. I had no problems reaching out to him, though I've only seen him 4 or 5 times, and only then for a handful of days each year over the past 5 or 6 years. I feel like he's a friend. He has a remarkable capability of making people feel at home and comfortable, and it's the same way, I'm guessing, with concierges at 5-star hotels across the world. Cristian is a perfect concierge for what he does there. And it's interesting, being in North America, folks, being in the U.S., we're all very familiar with the reactions that we've had to the pandemic, the corona pandemic, the COVID pandemic. We're not alone in this. It's going on all over the world. And the pandemic that has released itself, I guess, in the United States has impacted the bird boy in the Salta province of Argentina, who is now kind of doing odd jobs to keep himself employed and keeping an income coming for him. It's amazing how far and wide this spreads. We could go on and on about there being a global economy, and I think that's very clearly what we're seeing right now is the impact of a global economy on people such as a bird boy in a hunting lodge in the agricultural lands of the Salta province. No one's isolated anymore. One of the things that I want to note that often gets misunderstood about these Argentine trips is that there is so much diversity of things to see and do. And I've mentioned it a couple of times, and it's something that I can't get enough of while I'm there, is looking at the multiple species of creatures that are moving around there on a regular basis. My son last year stalked an emu. He got within about 20 yards of it, slowly moving across the field. This thing was, 5.5, 6 feet tall, and he got a good picture of it right up close to him. And it's things like that. It's the adventures like that I can't get enough of, and that when I bring my boys on these trips with me, turn out to be the stories that we tell later. Not how many or how much or the cost or anything like that, but the fact that he got so close to an emu. And that's the picture that we cherish the most from that trip, or that's the memories that I cherish the most from that trip, or the day we were sitting out in the field having lunch and a hummingbird flew right into the middle of the tent and buzzed us at the tents, paused, looked around, and went on. The point being, it's not all about the hunting. There's no doubt that you're going there for the hunting, but it's not all about the hunting. And when my friends say, I've been and I spent 4 days shooting doves and kind of got bored with it. I do too, man. I do too. There's no doubt about it. We'll pull the group together. We'll all sit in the same blind and we'll play games, have fun, little competitions of things that we can do with one another that make the trip memorable. It's a fantastic experience. And again, I'm going over the top on this more than I do for most of my guests. But it's kind of a reason to encourage people to get out of their comfort zone and experience something remarkably different in a completely different part of the world. And I'm a big fan. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan. Again, Cristian Druetta, Tuku Lodge, Tuku Lodge, LODGE.com, where you can reach out directly to Cristian. They're hoping to open the floodgates for the hunters again back in this coming September so that they can get back in there and start working with the hunters on harvesting those birds. It's a remarkable thought that 10 million birds sleep every night in the same big group of trees, and they breed 4 times a year and have 2 eggs per per nesting. The numbers create an extraordinary quantity of animals that eat, and it used to be 20 to 25% of the crop, but based on the lack of hunters, it sounds like from what Cristian said is now up over 30% of the crop, so much so that it becomes unprofitable to harvest some of them due to the volume of seed that's been pulled off the stalk. He talked about not being able to harvest the sunflowers due to the doves that are eating the sunflowers. And it's not just the doves, it's the parrots and the parakeets and everything else with it. It's an extraordinary thing. Imagine having an infestation of bugs, or let's say of mice, and somebody knocks on your doors and says, hey, can I pay you to get rid of your mice? Which is essentially what the hunters do for the farmers. We'd like to pay you to get rid of this infestation. To which the farmers, of course, say, absolutely, come on, have at it. You can get rid of as much of these things as you want. We are paying them to get rid of their infestation, and it's just heaven on earth. I'll be honest, it's heaven on earth. As we bring the show to the close, I hope we're able to get some of the phone troubles of talking to Cristian in Salta edited so that you didn't experience that hiccup like I did on the phone. Again, thanks to Cristian. Check out tukulodge.com if you're interested in more. Let's thank the people that make this show possible. First, we'll start with John Thompson. He's our producer, the show producer with Eye on Digital. Kristen Ogden arranges these interviews, schedules the guests, clears calendars, does all that kind of stuff, and has recently taken on the burden of documenting the over 120 shows we've done now and getting the names and the guests so that we can make references back and revisit many of them. I'm Cam Marston. You're listening to What's Working, brought to you by Regions. Have a good week, everybody.